And hello, we're live from Glasgow. I'm just going to put a message into the chat box. So please say hello when you come in. So I'm here live from Glasgow on this beautiful Wednesday morning that we have here. It is actually quite a nice day. Sun shining, it's not raining. You can't really ask for anything else at this time of year. So we'll wait a minute to get started. When you come in, please say hello in the chat box, because actually I have no idea who is here. So if you say hello, then this means that I know that you're here. But if you don't, then I could just be talking to myself. I have no idea. In this live lesson today, it's going to be a phrasal verb quiz. And it means if you participate at the time of the quiz, that you can actually answer the questions as we do it. Obviously, this goes on to the YouTube channel after the fact as well, but it's a little bit more fun to be able to answer the questions as they're happening. And it makes it a bit more interactive. I can correct your mistakes a little bit easier. Well, much easier, because I can't do that when it's a YouTube video. So it's a nice experience. So as you come in, please just say hello in the live chat. We'll give it a little bit of time and then we'll get started. So the lesson today is on phrasal verbs. I picked that because it's a very good topic for kind of intermediate level students. You know, a lot of people who follow me tend to be intermediate or higher, or some kind of intermediate, maybe pre-intermediate. And phrasal verbs, you know, can be a little bit complicated just because the meaning can vary. So you need to look at the context quite often as well to be able to figure it out. And also by a phrasal verb, I'm talking about a verb and preposition together, which has its own meaning, which is sometimes easy to figure out. Like if you have a phrasal verb like go up, then it's easy to see that up is talking about the direction. But other phrasal verbs are not so easy to figure out just looking at them on their own. So you have to look at the context, which is why we're going to look at sentences in context, or sorry, phrasal verbs in the context of sentences today, with the meaning as well, so that we can try to reinforce these phrasal verbs and hopefully remember them better in the future, because they can be tricky. It takes a lot of practice, and you have to see them in different contexts to be able to figure out what they actually mean and to be able to use them, because that's obviously the point that we want to get to. So if you're here, please say hello in the live chat, and in about a minute we will get started. So, you know, if you feel like remaining anonymous, that's fine as well. You know, I'm going to give you time after each question to try to answer it, because it will be a gap fill. And, you know, if nobody answers, then that's fine. I'll just go on and give you the answer. But the way, Mamso Kolo, hello. I remember you from last time. How are you? I hope you're well. So the way it's going to work in the lesson today is that I'm going to give you 10 sentences, and in each sentence there's going to be a gap. Okay, and in the gap, it's always related to a phrasal verb. Obviously, that's what we're doing today, the phrasal verb quiz. Tushi, hello, how are you? So it's always related to phrasal verbs. So sometimes in one sentence, it's going to be the verb that I'm gapping out, and in another one, it's going to be the preposition. So if we had the phrasal verb go up, then in one sentence, I'm going to take away the verb go, and in the next sentence, it will be up. We're not using go up today. That's just an example. Okay, so we've got some people interacting now, so I think that we can start the phrasal verb quiz. So like I said, I've got 10 sentences today, 10 different phrasal verbs as well. I'm going to show you the sentence with a gap fill. And I'm also going to tell you the meaning of the phrasal verb in this context, okay? Remembering that sometimes phrasal verbs can have different meanings as well. So what I want you to do is look at the sentence, try to think what the gap should be, whether it's a verb or a preposition, and to write your answer in the chat box. And we'll take it from there. So I'll give you some other examples, some things that we can use these phrasal verbs with in the future. And we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we have 10 sentences, so I shouldn't keep you for too long on this beautiful morning. Okay, let's get right in about it and look at the first sentence. So I'm just going to put it into the chat box, and I'll also show you on the screen on my iPad. So if anybody follows me on social media, I gave you this example half an hour ago as well. So we see here, this is the form. Please can you beep something it in? Okay, so I see we've got an answer already there from Mamso. Is Mamso your first name? I guess so. Got that there. Anybody else want to answer this one? Mamso's your first name. Okay, good. Thank you for telling me. Okay, any other answers coming from this one? This is the form. Can you please something it in? I started with an easy one. And also this one's easy because you don't have to change the form of the verb here. But sometimes you will have to change the form of the verb and think about the grammar in this lesson as well. Okay, so if we don't have any other answers, then I'm going to show you the correct answer, as Mamso has already said. This is the form. Get it up on the screen. This is the form. Please can you fill it in? So the meaning here is complete. Complete the form, fill it in. Also interestingly, with this phrasal verb, we can say fill it in or we can say fill it out. And it's the same meaning. It just means complete. So if we want to think about the things that we can use these two phrasal verbs with, fill in and fill out, we could use it with a form or an application, or maybe something you have to complete at the doctor's in that kind of situation. So those are the kind of things when you can complete a form, an application, a job application, something like that, then we can use both of these phrasal verbs, fill it in or fill it out. Good, well done. We had one correct answer there. We had one answer and one correct answer, so that means 100%. We're going well. Let's have a look at the second one. Okay, so like I said, in this one, it's actually going to be the preposition that you have to complete. Okay, I'm not sure if everybody can really see the chat box, so I'll just hold that up as well. So they've called something the meeting, and the meaning here is cancel. Okay, so Mamso's in with an answer already. I'll get the complete sentence ready for you. Okay, so we've got two answers, off and out. So let's have a look at the correct sentence. So the correct sentence is, they've called off the meeting. Yeah, so Mamso, you were correct on that one. Again, 2 out of 2 for you. Good going. So the meaning of this is to cancel. So typically, if somebody calls off a meeting, then, it's their decision to do it for some kind of reason. Other things that you could call off would be maybe an appointment or a wedding, perhaps, for some reason something happened. So you had to cancel the meeting. You had to call it off. Okay, interesting. thing about this one is you can say they've called off the meeting, or you can say they've called the meeting off. So we can put the object in the middle or at the end with this one, and both would be correct in this case. Good, let's have a look at the next one. Okay, in this one, I want to think a little bit about grammar as well, because you have to think about, it's the verb you have to complete here, and you have to put it into the correct tense for the context. Okay, so here we go. It is I something across your email when I was clearing my inbox, and the meaning is find by chance. So you have to think about the grammar. What tense do you want to put this in? When I was clearing suggests that you want to put it into a past tense. We have somebody else who just came into the room. Please say hello if you feel sociable. Oh, and they left again. You couldn't say saw across, Tushy. So in this case, Mamso is right again. On fire today, 100% record. Let's have a look at the full correct sentence. So I came across your email when I was clearing my inbox. So it says find by chance. So the important thing here with this phrasal verb is that you're not looking for this thing, but you find it anyway. As is often the case, you can't find what you're looking for, but you find something else. So you're going through your things, you say, oh, look what I came across. I wasn't looking for this, but I'm glad I found it anyway. So it's find by chance. Okay, let's go on to the next one, which is our fourth example out of 10. And this time we're looking for a preposition. Okay, so we've got the caterpillar turned something a beautiful butterfly. Okay, so we want to find the preposition, and the meaning we have here is become. So we're thinking about, obviously, the transformation from caterpillar to a butterfly, transformation. So it became a beautiful butterfly. So let's see what answers we have here. Mamso has their answer in already. So let's have a look at the correct sentence. And you're correct. The caterpillar turned into a beautiful butterfly. So here we're obviously talking about a creature, an insect, becoming something else. Is a caterpillar an insect? I think it is. I'm not a biologist. So we're talking about that becoming something else. It turned into it. Also, we can talk about buildings being turned into other things. For example, it used to be a cinema and now it is a concert hall, for example. So, the cinema was turned into a concert hall is another good example. So it changed what it was and it became something else. We can use that as a common use of it with buildings, as well as the example we have here about the caterpillar. Okay, moving on. Back to a verb this time rather than the preposition, and think about the grammar again. We'll see if Mamso can get this one correct as well. So this one is, we are aware of the problem, and we are something into it. So the meaning here is investigate. So we want to put the verb, we need to choose the correct verb, and we need to put it into the correct form for this. So have a think about what that could be. Think about the tense that we have with we are. What tense do you think that could be? And think about the verb that we could use for investigate. Okay, don't have any answers yet. Remembering about the form calling. Okay, so we've got two answers. Unfortunately, neither of them are correct. So the correct sentence is this one. Okay, so we are aware of the problem and we are looking into it. So to look into something means to investigate it. For example, the police could look into a crime. They can look into a murder, perhaps. They can look into an incident. And it means that you're trying to find out what happened. You're investigating it. So the verb we need in this case is look, to look into something. And in this case, we need it in the ing form because we have present continuous here. Okay, good. Let's move on. And we're going on to sentence 6. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6. And in this one, we're back to the preposition that we need rather than the verb. So the sentence is, I didn't really get something with my stepbrother when I was a teenager. And the meaning here is have a good relationship. So this time we're looking for the preposition. And here it's actually a 3-part phrasal verb, so we need all parts of it. So get, preposition, with somebody is the structure that you should get on. Yeah, we can say get on well with, but we don't need the well. We can have it without it. So like in this sentence here, I'll put the correct sentence so you can see it. I didn't really get on with, I can't read that upside down. I didn't really get on with my stepbrother when I was a teenager. Have a good relationship. So, Mamso, you said get on well. We can put well into this sentence. It still works, but it just emphasizes it. So we can add it, but we don't necessarily need it in that case. So thinking about people that you get on with, you know, that could be anybody. It could be your work colleagues. It could be your schoolmates. It could be people you live with, you know, your family. So all of these people that you have a relationship with or don't have a very good relationship with means that we can use this expression get on with somebody or get on well with somebody or not, as the case may be. Okay, so let's have a look at number 7. Okay, starting to get a little bit trickier now, I would say. So let's see what you think about this one. Okay, so our sentence is, can you hear that noise all the time? I don't know how you something up with it. Okay, so the meaning of this phrasal verb is tolerate. So imagine a situation where you're in somebody's house and they can hear a lot of noise from the nose, a lot of noise from the road, sorry. And you say, how do you tolerate that? How do you something up with that because it's a distraction or it's something that annoys you in this case. So in the sentence here, we're looking at noise. So we're looking for a verb here in this case. Okay, I'm going to give you the correct sentence. Okay, and the correct sentence is, can you hear that noise all the time? I don't know how you put up with it. I don't know how you put up with it. So things that you put up with, as I said, things which you find annoying, things which irritate you. So you think about the noise coming into your window every day. You say, you know, I can't put up with that. It's too much for me. I can't tolerate it. Other things could be perhaps mess. It's difficult to put up with mess everywhere, or dust. So it's again something that irritates you. And also we can use this one about people's behavior. You know, we can say, oh, the boy, your son is so badly behaved. You know, how do you put up with it? How do you tolerate his behavior? So it's something which you find irritating, something which annoys you a little bit. And you know, quite often this is obviously used with because of the meaning. Tolerate is quite often used in a negative sense. This phrasal verb, put up with something. Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, so in this one, again, it is the preposition that we're looking for. And the sentence is, our car broke something in the middle of the highway, or the motorway if we're in the UK. So the meaning here is stop working. Okay, that was an easy one in the mix there. So you're both correct. Of course, a car broke down in the middle of the highway. So there's the full sentence there. Car broke down in the middle of the highway. Stop working. Remember, this is not about, we can't use this about everything which stopped. We can say stops working. So usually this is about a vehicle, you know, something, or a machine, but something that has moving parts. We use it, yeah? So that breaks down. Another thing, like if we talk about, I don't know, a lamp doesn't break down. A lamp just breaks, yeah? It stops working. But if something is moving, like a bus or a train, or something which has moving parts, like machinery in a factory, for example, then we can say breakdown, because it has to have that idea of something moving, like in a machine or a vehicle, and then we can use breakdown in that case, rather than just break if it's about something which doesn't move. Okie doke. So let's have a look at number 9. Yeah, the police broke the door down. That's a good example, actually, ma'am. So, but that is thinking more about the action. So down there, the preposition is thinking more about the fact that the door came down. But it's a good example, yeah. And it's not a machine, but when in the meaning, so when the police broke the door down, this means, you know, that they flattened the door, they burst through the door, but it doesn't mean that something broke down the same way that if you talked about a car or a bus, even though it is the same phrasal verb. And that's the beautiful thing about phrasal verbs. Okay, we've got a couple of, while I was talking, we've got a couple of answers for the next one. It's not find. Because find out is like to discover more than, so, you know, you don't have some information, you have to go and find it out. So you have to look around and you have to discover it. But here it actually means understand. So you have to, for example, I finally something out the math equation after doing it several times. So it it's more like you had to put in some effort to try to analyze it and try to think what it means rather than just discover the information. So that's the difference between find out and this one. And Tushy, another good answer get, but it's not correct, unfortunately. So let's have a look at what the correct sentence is in this case. Okay, so the sentence here is like this. I finally figured out the math equation after doing it several times. So figure out means to understand, but find out means to discover. So you have to figure out a problem, like a maths problem, or you can figure out why something isn't working is another situation you could do it. You could use that with. Or you could try to figure out somebody's actions. So that means you try to find a reason for it. So all of these things have in common that you have to put in, the mental power to actually try to understand it and figure out what is going on in that case. So problems, equations, things that you don't understand rather than things you just don't know and you have to find out. Okay, good. And let's have a look at number 10 and our last phrasal verb for today. Here's a sentence here. The student something out of his college class because he was failing. And the meaning here is leave a course before the end. And we're looking for a verb here, but also I want you to put the verb into the correct tense. So look at the full sentence and try to figure out what tense you would use in this case. The student something out of his college class because he was failing. So what verb do you think you could use here? Went out. I mean, if you go out of a class, this means that you... Oh, Sasha, hello. Nice to see you. Nice to see you joining us. So if you go out of a class, it's like, you leave the room. But the meaning here is that he left the course and he's not going to come back. It's like he resigned from the course. He's not going to continue with it anymore. Not just for that day, but forever. He's failing the course. He was failing the course. So he decided that's it. That I've had enough. I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay, good guess. Tushy, that's not the answer. Mamso, how about you? Do you want to try to answer this one? If you're still there, of course. That's the annoying thing about this is I never know who's here until they start writing answers. Okay, I'll give you one more second to try to answer this. We don't have a correct answer yet. You don't know? Okay, well, that's fine. Thank you for telling us. So I'll give you the correct answer so that now you do know. Okay, so the student dropped out of his college class because he was failing. So you can see here we need to have it in past because he was failing. So dropped is a regular verb. The student dropped out of his college class because he was failing. So drop out we use for courses and for things related to education. So, you can drop out of a course, you can drop out of a school, you can drop out of college, you can drop out of anything that's, kind of going on for a long period of time and is related to you being educated in some way. Yeah. And so drop out means that you leave the course forever. And usually it's because, you find it too difficult or, it just isn't for you. So there's usually a reason from your side, why you decide to drop out of the course. So in this one, the student dropped out of his college class because he was failing. He found it too difficult and decided to drop out, which means to leave the course forever. Yeah, not just for that day. So if he went out of his class, that would just be for one day, but he dropped out. That means that he left the course for good, not for a short period of time. Okay, good. So some of you were with us for the whole duration of today. So it was 10 sentences, and you did well. I think we got correct answers for most of them. So congratulations and well done. Some difficult phrasal verbs there. I'm going to put all of the examples that we had into the comments on this. Once, obviously, it will go onto my YouTube channel, so you can look at the sentences there. If you would like to practice these sentences, then please put some example sentences with so if you want to practice these phrasal verbs, put some example sentences using them onto the comments of this video once it goes onto the YouTube channel. And when I get a chance, I'll come and correct them for you to see if you're using them correctly with the correct context and correct grammar and things like that. Okay, so we had 10 phrasal verbs today. I'm sure some of them, or most of them, were new for a lot of people. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please like the video. Obviously, please subscribe. Join the Facebook group, Learn English with Alex, and all of that kind of stuff. And we'll have another live lesson soon. Maybe next week, depends how busy I am. If I have time, I'll definitely do it next week. And if not, in 2 weeks. And I'll put information about this on my Facebook group, Learn English with Alex, as well as the other places where I'm normally active. So check me out on social media if you don't already. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks everybody for coming, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks, Pamso. Take care. You have a good day too. Okay, guys. Bye-bye.